while you were sleeping, Holly Paz, a Washington, D.C.-based IRS supervisor, was put on administrative leave. This after she came forward admitting to scrutinizing applications from Tea Party groups. Some of those applications sat idle for more than a year, Paz telling Congress that she reviewed between 20 and 30 cases.
And let's go ahead and talk to the governor a little bit about that. We were told it was just low-level people in Cincinnati. Now it's a supervisor in Washington.
Yeah, I don't think people really are surprised with more of these revelations coming forth regarding the overreach of government and, the harassment of those who perhaps would oppose some of the administration's policies. I really don't think the general, everyday, average, hardworking American is surprised at any of this.
The explanation was unbelievable. They said, well, when they told me in Cincinnati after the Tea Party groups, I thought they meant generically. Tea Party, a generic term meaning liberal groups as well. Yeah. They really expect us to buy that?
That is so unbelievable, and it also does not bode well for that individual's intelligence. Why is she working for the IRS if truly she were to believe such a thing, that Tea Party meant a liberal group, maybe
progressive,
equivalent to, I don't know, MoveOn.org or something. Yeah, same thing as Tea Party. Really, why would she be thinking that?
Governor, can we just dial back? Well, I feel like we got ahead of ourselves because we went right to the news. Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, what have you been up to? How are you?
I am doing great. Very busy, of course, with 5 kids, 2 beautiful grandkids. Writing a book about Christmas and pushing back on the politically correct who would try to take Christ out of Christmas. We talk a lot about that in the book, a kind of a legalese how-to push back and protect the heart of Christmas at the same time. A very festive and happy and jolly book about tradition and recipes and fun things about Christmas.
Wait, you know the Duck Dynasty guys?
Well, see, there are benefits to the life that I lead.
Wait a minute.
We get to meet the important people in this world. Yes.
That's
a
fantastic.
good picture. I love that guy.
Have you been following this news cycle? Because, I mean, you're working on your book and you're doing a lot of things, but there's been so much going on, and they were calling it, scandal mania in Washington. Which of the ones that we've been watching, between the NSA spying and the IRS targeting conservatives and
Benghazi,
which is the one that you think that concerns you the most?
Well, they all, it's the whole ball of wax that all leads to this revelation that government lies, unfortunately. And with Benghazi, though, government lied and people died. So that's very, very significant. The other issues are government lied and government spied. That's pretty bad, too. But, I think the Benghazi issue, where brave, innocent Americans lost their lives in defense of our country, our freedoms, is quite significant because we still don't have truth in regards to what happened there.
And that was part of the message of the Tea Party. Hey, everybody, Washington, D.C. is spinning out of control. It's getting bigger and bigger. And now, as we're learning with the IRS, the NSA thing, they're keeping an eye on us.
It's a foundational message of the Tea Party grassroots movement, and that is that government is out of hand. It is oppressive. It is intrusive into every aspect of our lives, and it's grown so large that it is unaccountable at this point.
Let's talk about Edward Snowden, if we could. Now we find out he's got additional leaks, as he promised. Now he's saying, oh, yeah, on the G20 summit, we spied on Dmitry Medvedev in a sophisticated, a series of internet shops where they went in and we had a way of infiltrating. They also say the British were spying on the entire roster of G20. How does this help America become safer?
Well, first, I really don't think that Snowden is the issue, though, in any of this. I think that the issue, again, is that government is so large and so intrusive in all aspects of life that, we need more revelations. We need more truth about what our administration is doing so that we can hold our government that works for us to hold them accountable.
Governor, we got a Fox News alert. First time this morning, we're starting to see some of Eric Bolling's exclusive interview with the father of that man, the NSA whistleblower, leaker, whatever you want to call him, Edward Snowden. Here is Lonnie Snowden, his father, talking about why he's coming forward right now. Listen to this.
I'm here because I'm really concerned about the misinformation in the media. He is a sensitive, caring young man. This is the Ed that I know. The same eyes, it's the same Ed. He is a deep thinker.
Lonnie, at one point during one of our conversations, you said you were concerned about the way the media was portraying Ed. Tell me about that.
Well, first and foremost, every place you read is high school dropout, high school dropout, high school dropout. The fact is that Ed had an illness at the beginning of his sophomore year when his mother and I were going through a divorce. They believed that it was mono. I believe it was diagnosed as mono, but he missed approximately 4 or 5 months of school, so he was going to fall behind. And he asked if he could try to test into a program at the local community college. And there was some disagreement on whether he should do that. The bottom line is he did, and he completed his high school equivalency in advance of when he would have graduated from high school, and then continued taking college courses.
Not quite the Edward Snowden we've seen in the mainstream media.
No, and the father is trying to explain there that what he is hearing and seeing in the media is not the son that he knows. And, I would just warn him that nothing will ever be the same for his son or for his family. The media that perhaps would be disagreeing with what these leaks entail, and government officials not liking what Snowden is doing will try to, not literally, but proverbially shoot the messenger, and nothing will ever be the same for this family.
What do you make of it? I mean, somebody who was running for office and didn't want this president to be in there overseeing the NSA and everything.
Right.
Would you have continued, because this was a policy born under President Bush to keep us safe in the wake of 9/11, and Barack Obama says, I'm continuing it. It worked.
Well, Barack Obama is perhaps saying that he would continue it despite the hypocrisy, because he was so adamantly opposed to this type of surveillance
when
he was Senator Obama, and that that leads to more distrust of the administration, of politicians in general, where they say one thing and do another thing. As for continuing these policies, we don't even know, Megan, really what the policy, what the practices are. We're just learning more about what our government does
what I find
with surveillance.
Amazing, Governor, is that we have Republicans explaining the president's policy that he evidently amended to make it more safer and accountable. We have Chairman Rogers saying this is what it's about. We have Vice President Cheney going, well, this is why we need it. We have other congressmen and senators on the right saying, listen, this is what went into it. This is how to keep us safe. Where are the Democrats explaining their own program for the Democratic administration? Where's the president?
And all that we will get out of a Democrat administration will be this picking and choosing of issues, the successes, the victories as a result of this program, of the surveillance. And that's a bit unfortunate. People just want to have honesty from their government. We want to truly know what are practices, how do we implement this surveillance so that the good guys aren't the ones being targeted and picked on. And yet the good guys, Brian, they are being picked on when you consider not just the surveillance issue of NSA, but look at what the IRS has been doing with targeting conservative groups that would oppose the administration.
But the intelligence community says draw a line between that. It has nothing to do with us.
Again, this is one big ball of wax of a big, overgrown government that has gotten out of control, and the people have had enough of this, and we want to know what's going on in our government in order to make it more efficient, in order to make it a better, smaller, smarter government.
What do you make of the fact that now that some Democrats and some on the left have come out and said the reason that they had to target the Tea Party groups was because there were so many applicants, and they were trying to take advantage of a system unfairly by getting tax-exempt status, this is the accusation, that they never were entitled to, and that's why they needed all this extra scrutiny?
Yeah, well, that's, a very weak argument, a very weak excuse as to why that they would sit on one political ideology, put that aside, ignore those applications, and move on quickly with the more liberal, more friendly groups that wanted this tax-exempt status. No, I think the Tea Party groups and conservatives have been very patient, very gracious through all of this, and here again, I think that they're finally saying that's enough because we know now what's going on.
One other nugget that Eric got from the father of Edward Snowden was the fact that he said, Edward, stop leaking and come home. So more